Hi everyone, welcome back to Linda Libra Loca. My name's Anne and I'm passionate about sharing beauty tips and tricks for people with more mature skin. Today is kind of an impromptu video. I wanted to talk about the new Sephora Matte Perfection Foundation. Well, it's not that new, but it's new to me. The foundation comes in 22 different shades, which is great because you really need an exact color match with it, and is available through Sephora website. I thought it was a pretty good day for that because I have been to the dermatologist and I had a lot of extractions with my congested skin and pimples, so I have a lot of redness to cover up. And the Sephora Matte Perfection Foundation claims to be highly pigmented, long wearing, full coverage, full matte, and comfortable to wear. So I decided I'd show you the foundation when it has actually a lot to cover up and share my thoughts. This is not a first impression. I have been using this foundation for a little over 3 weeks. So I have tried with different primers at different stages of my skin and with different brushes. As you can see in the video, I have a bit of redness and spot marks going on, and the foundation did cover up everything nicely. I used a flat foundation brush to show you just how pigmented the foundation is and how much coverage you can actually achieve, but the high coverage and high pigmented leads to the foundation really looking like foundation sitting on the skin and not being the most comfortable to wear. So highly pigmented, yes indeed. Long wearing, yes, we'll get to that in a bit, but natural looking and comfortable to wear, not so much. If you are willing to sacrifice some of the coverage and prefer a more comfortable way of wearing the foundation, you can actually use a buffing brush. You could even use a damp beauty blender or other sponge, and that would take down the coverage a little more. But my preferred way is using a buffing brush like this one from Real Techniques, just buffing the foundation into my skin. That way I can build up the coverage. It builds easily to cover up the redness and scars, but I don't get this really heavy feeling and kind of heavy looking foundation. As you see here, the foundation takes a while to set, so if you don't want to set it with powder, make sure to wait at least 5 minutes, otherwise it will transfer and look patchy. And that brings me to the other downside. I don't really recommend setting this foundation with powder because despite me being very oily in the T-zone, powder on top of that can look extremely cakey. The foundation does have the tendency to cling to dry patches. I have atopic eczema around my hairline, and whenever the foundation gets there, it really emphasizes the texture I have there, and I need to make sure that my skin is very well hydrated and moisturized. So if you are more on the dehydrated and dry side, this foundation is surely not for you. If you are a combination oily though, the foundation will actually, when used with a buffing brush, sit pretty nicely on the skin. It does not emphasize any fine lines, and as you can see, I did not powder and have been wearing this foundation for around 20 minutes now. It looks natural without having too much shine. It is pretty long wearing. I've been wearing it for 10 hours plus without any problems, but once it starts to disappear, it starts to disappear patchy. Bottom line, this is a foundation for you if you have scars or pimples or hyperpigmentation that you want to cover up and need something with a heavier coverage. This is not a natural looking foundation, and this is not a foundation that is forgiving on dry, textured or dehydrated skin. This is really aimed at people with oily skin that need long-lasting matte coverage. I'd compare it to Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place makeup, because just like that, when it feels as if you're wearing makeup, you need to be careful so it doesn't look as you are wearing a full face of makeup, but once it's put and it covers up really everything. It does play nicely with my fine lines, doesn't emphasize them, so if you're more mature but still want a full coverage matte looking base, just like me, then give this one a go. Just remember to use a really light hand, a little goes a long way with this one. And that sums up my review. I'm going to link a few videos that might interest you, so you have something else to watch when I go now. Please make sure to like and subscribe. Tell me in the comment below if you have tried this foundation or if it is something that you'd be interested in trying, and yeah, I'm going to see you all very soon with another one. Bye!